Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
A local church partnered with Black Lives Matter to help feed hundreds of families in need during the COVID-19 pandemic. They handed out thousands of pounds of fresh produce, all for free. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie has our story.
25,000 pounds of fruits and veggies now in the fridges of families across the metro.
Well, a friend of mine who's coming over here to work told me to come over to the church. I said, what is going on? He said, they're giving away stuff. So, I said, I'm going to come over here.
The Northview Church in South Fargo is reaching the hearts of the community, serving people in need during the pandemic.
Back here, one back here. It's a blessing. Always be grateful for the little things. It ain't always the big things.
Before 8 a.m., they handed out boxes to nearly 25 people. Later, hundreds more.
I came here just to get the produce from the church, and then I'm giving one to each of my neighbors.
Black Lives Matter organizers teaming up with the church to fill cars.
We're also about giving back to our community, and this is a community that we love, so we wanted to make sure that we showed up.
I think it's awesome, especially when it's a hard time like this, that they're helping out the community.
We're eating good. Well, you see, I need the vegetables.
Pastor Cal, or Papa C, is known as the man with the servant's heart. He started Reach the Heart about a year ago.
I've had them pull up and thank me, some in tears, some even wanted to give me money, and that's not what it's all about. But so I am just feeling, I could almost dance for you right now. I'm so excited.
All of the food and the trailer donated. Pastor Cal happy to pay it forward.
It brings so much joy to know that we're helping families that are in need during the pandemic.
Let's just help each other, bless each other, and encourage one another.
In Fargo, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
Reach the Heart and Black Lives Matter will be giving out twice as many boxes, that's 50,000 pounds of produce, on Saturday, June 27th. It will be from 8 to 2 at the Northview Church parking lot. There's not much to complain about when it comes to the weather today, just a bit windy. Let's find out what tonight has in store for us. Nathan has your weather planner. Nathan?
Yeah, Katie, you're exactly right. A little tough on the golf course out there today with those winds. You can even see on our Devil's Lake home of economy Skycam, the flagpole there has been shaking a little bit in the winds there, but looking at the sky is just a few thin wispy clouds out there. And that's about what we can expect to continue for this evening is the wind and those clear skies. Here's current wind speeds with the gusts on the right-hand side there. You can see in Fargo, winds sustained around 21, gusting 28, but out toward the Jamestown area, winds are sustained in the 20-mile-per-hour range, gusting upwards of 35 to 40 miles per hour, though. So definitely a bit more breezy in the Devil's Lake Basin through the James River Valley this afternoon. And then winds will calm down a little bit tonight, but winds will, of course, ramp right back up tomorrow. So another rough day on the golf course for Sunday. Temperatures, we're seeing those 70s up north, so fairly pleasant conditions in our northern neighborhoods, but we are plenty warm off toward the south and west, those low to mid 80s in our South Dakota neighborhoods. So, Katie, we will talk about what we can expect for the second half of the weekend, including the possibility of some strong severe storms out west, and we'll break that down coming up.
All right. Thank you, Nathan, for the update. One person is dead after a plane crash at the Mandan Airport this afternoon. Mandan police say a small aircraft crashed at about 1:45. The pilot was the only person on board and did not survive. His name and age are not being released yet. Police say he was from North Dakota. The crash is under investigation. The state of North Dakota is reporting another 42 positive COVID-19 cases. 31 of those are from Cass County. Over 3,000 tests were completed. The active case count in the state now sits at 354. There were no new deaths reported today. The death toll linked to the virus remains at 74. In Minnesota, the state is reporting 9 new deaths linked to COVID-19. It brings the death toll in the state to 1,283. Another 394 positive cases were reported today. The active case number in the state is now 3,269. North Dakota state health officials are warning parents about delaying their child's immunizations because of coronavirus, and the stats say it's already happening. According to the North Dakota Immunization Information System, immunizations in kids are down 15% since last year. Experts say shots are only effective if at least 95% of people use them. Right now, mumps and measles are under 85%.
Having vaccine-preventable diseases and COVID-19 circulating within facilities at the same time could potentially lead to a large number of closures and, worse, adversely affect the health of our children.
Healthcare facilities have been using separate facilities for sick and healthy individuals and using drive-up locations for immunizations. North Dakota's oil industry has already had more than 9,000 unemployment claims this year, and experts say more could be coming. In a meeting this week, oil industry regulators cautioned about a new wave of unemployment that is coming for the industry.
By the end of next week, it's my understanding, certainly by the end of this month of June, the PPP program will have expired for these folks.
Helms predicts that the month of June will start to show some improvement in production after it dropped off in April and May. The calls for the head of Minneapolis Police Union to resign are getting louder. Hundreds of protesters gathered Friday in Minneapolis in front of the boarded-up union offices for a rally and subsequent march. Black Lives Matter, CARE, and Communities United Against Police Brutality also helped organize the demonstration. David Schuman reports.
The object of these protesters' derision is the union representing Minneapolis police officers.
We are sick and tired of the Police Federation getting in the way of the chief of police doing what he needs to do to hold police accountable.
Lieutenant Bob Kroll, the union president, must go, they say. Chants and speeches blasted Kroll's disciplinary record, which includes multiple excessive force complaints and lawsuits. Kimberly Handy Jones was one of the speakers. She crusades for justice for families affected by police violence. St. Paul police shot and killed her son Cordell in 2017. The officers weren't charged.
That's the real pandemic. It's been a racial pandemic way before coronavirus. The police are the coronavirus.
We reached out to him about this protest, and he referred us to a federation statement that says the union welcomes the opportunity to collaborate with the city and improve officer accountability. It also says management has failed to implement changes the unions tried to make. Protest organizers aren't buying it.
The Police Federation needs to be reined in to create a police force that not just respects themselves, but also respects the community.
I think there's power in people. That's the thing. The more people that are involved, politicians don't get things done. People get things done pushing politicians.
That includes the Minneapolis mayor and city council, which some protesters say are just as accountable as Kroll and the union.
We are coming for those seats because our votes matter. My vote is like 10 bars of gold, and I'm not giving my 10 bars of gold to just anybody.
Petitions were also being passed around calling for a recall of Mike Freeman, the Hennepin County attorney. Freeman is no longer in charge of the prosecution of former Minneapolis officer Derek Chauvin. President Donald Trump is rescheduling a Tulsa rally that was set to take place on Juneteenth, which is the commemoration of the ending of slavery in the U.S. The president tweeted Friday night that the rally would be moved a day from June 19th to June 20th. He wrote in part, "Many of my African-American friends and supporters have reached out to suggest that we consider changing the date out of respect for this holiday and in observance of the important occasion and all that it represents." Critics had called for the plan to hold the rally on Juneteenth disrespectful and racist. Tulsa, Oklahoma was the site of one of the deadliest race riots in American history in 1921. Today, President Donald Trump touched down in the Marine One on the grounds of West Point to deliver the commencement speech to graduating cadets. In the age of social distancing, gone were the stands full of parents, friends, and loved ones. Cadets sat in chairs spaced out 6 feet apart, while families watched their cadets from home via a live stream of the ceremony. The president's speech to the 1,100 graduates centered on unity, diversity, and proudly serving one American nation.
This premier military academy produces only the best of the best, the strongest of the strong, and the bravest of the brave. West Point is a universal symbol of American gallantry, loyalty, devotion, discipline, and great skill.
The president's visit to West Point comes amid fiery public debate over the president's threat to use American troops on U.S. soil to tamp down continued Black Lives Matter protests, which reignited after George Floyd's death. The issue is so divisive that more than 500 West Point alumni signed an open letter to the cadets of 2020, reminding them of their obligation to avoid partisan politics as they head off into their careers as military leadership. Later on Valley News Live at 6, people are lining up today to get their hands on some good food from local vendors.
And if you're heading out to that event, or if you're heading out to the drive-in movie theater tonight, things are looking good for us. A fabulous Saturday night forecast, but that wind will stick around for us for this evening. Temperatures staying mild in the 70s, gradually falling, of course, into those 60s. But we'll break down what you can expect for the second half of the weekend next.